again. This is second down. There goes the ball again. Turnover number 9. No, the Argonauts have it back. They have given the ball up 8 times today. Mike Wilson, the right tackle offensively for Toronto, made the recovery that time, but it leaves the Argonauts third down and 14.
Don, it gets tougher and tougher for that offensive line of the Argonauts. The Winnipeg defense, knowing that Argonauts must go to the air, can just take a toehold in this artificial turf and come on like gangbusters, and that's what they've been doing. Bud Riley looking on from the sideline, but you can see the great pressure by all the defensive linemen on Longley as he gets the ball knocked away from him, trying to move up into the pocket.
Away from Rozalowicz at the 10-yard line. Now he moves in. No yards called against Rick Silvietta of Toronto. And moves over to challenge the official, but there appeared to be little doubt that he was only 3 yards away from Rozalowicz as the ball arrived.
Don, that happened right below us, and the official had a good call. The ball bounced back. Dell will tell us. The ball did bounce back towards Silvietta as it comes back here, and you can watch where he is now. He is within, as he's picking the ball up, he moved up that step, which brought him within the 5-yard restraining area. If he'd stayed back, he might have been outside.
Well, again, the over-anxiousness I mentioned on the part of the Toronto Argonauts in this situation is hurting them. Turnovers, mistakes, and penalties. Richard Crump. Still going at the 35-yard line, works hard to get his 5 yards. Argos, I think we're offside. It might have been this man right here. Comet Burley, number 62, made a bit of a jump at his defensive tackle spot.
Again, the quickness of this Argo defensive line getting him into trouble.
Offside, 62 Toronto.
Now there's confirmation. We'll get a chance to see Burley move early on the right.
Right, Don, on the right of the screen here. Burley will move. The offense doesn't. There it is, just before the snap. Call for offside. No movement by the offensive guard. A good call by the official, giving Winnipeg a 1st and 5 situation at their own 35 with just over a minute left in this third quarter.
192!
Jay Washington, but another marker is down. He gained 8 yards. It will stand as the Argonauts once again appear to be offside. This time it might have been Granny Liggins. Don't forget, the World Series coming up just as soon as this football game is completed here this afternoon. The Yankees lead the Dodgers 3-1. It'll be Don Gullett and Don Sutton, the scheduled starting pitchers. We'll have it for you right after the ball game. So the offside declined. The gain stands at the 43-yard line. The Bombers work first down from there. Less than a minute. There's the flag up in the third quarter. Washington. He's gaining steam as he goes along in the second half here. Reaching out for about an 8 or 9 yarder that time. Lauren Richardson contained him. Jerry Washington with 52 yards and 14 carries today.
Well, we look at the offensive huddle of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Holmes, number 70 there, has had a good afternoon along with the other pass receivers, going with that short game and being very successful versus this Argo defense that is getting a little frustrated right now, I believe.
Little rattle, little over-anxious, as we've been saying. It's second down and 1. The Bombers have played very, very well. For the first down goes Washington, and he's got it near midfield, the 54. So this Bomber drive is going to continue. The clock down to just 1 second. So this could be it, and then the important change of ends for the fourth quarter and a change of wind conditions favoring the Argonauts in the fourth quarter.
But Winnipeg in a good field position now at midfield. If they do have to punt into that wind, we'll start the Toronto team relatively deep in their own end, barring a good run back or any miscue by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Brock underthrew Tom Scott. He was backpedaling, the ball thrown at his boot tops, and he couldn't bring it in. And there's the gun at the end of the third quarter. The score is Winnipeg 22 and Toronto 3.
Nobody's got it like Pontiac's got it. Nobody's got it like Pontiac.
Pontiac introduces an entirely new family of automobiles, the Le Mans series for 1978. Pontiac Le Mans, Grand Le Mans, and Grand Am. The most scientifically designed road cars in the history of Pontiac. Trimmer than the 77 Le Mans, with room for 6. All new for 1978 Le Mans.
Nobody's got it like Pontiac.
You got it, Pontiac.
Nobody's got it like Pontiac's got it. Nobody's got it like Pontiac's got it. Nobody's got it like Pontiac's got it.
Next Saturday, it's the Philadelphia Flyers and Toronto Maple Leafs on Hockey Night in Canada. Bill Hewitt, Brian McFarland, and Dave Hodge bring you all the action as the Flyers meet the Leafs next Saturday on Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, I'm sure Leo Cahill will not be proud of the fact that his team had a total net offense of 4, count them, 4 yards in that third quarter.
Matches the temperature.
Pretty close, Tom. Ralph Brock. He lost the ball to an Argonaut. They give it back to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who maintain possession on third down. It's been that kind of an afternoon. Ball bouncing from team to team all over the field. Jay Washington came up with it. Burley made the original strip of the ball that brought it free, and then it bounced back and forth.
Brock going back to throw that ball, and pretty good pressure from this Argo defensive line. We were wondering if they could continue to come on, and as he went forward, he tried to slide past Burley, who grabbed his elbow, and the ball came out, and fortunately, Jay Washington was there to fall on it. And here's a high, short punt by Ruoff, and gets a good bounce.
Calvin Kirk taken down by Richard Crump. He lost the ball. Kirk has it again. He's given up about 12 yards and taken a lot of abuse physically on that exchange.
I'll tell you, they are hitting down there right now. And again, the Argonauts, who have dropped this ball many times on punts and field goal misses, again having problems with a good bounce there. Number 33, Crump, really made Calvin Kirk pay initially. Kirk got back up, picked the ball up, and then he really took it again from Crump, and not too often you get 2 shots at the same guy on one play, but Crump did that time and made them both very, very hard hits.
There's Lumsden with Chuck Ely back in at quarterback, getting out for about 5 yards, halfway to a first down. Russ, anytime you want to start singing, we'll just follow the bouncing ball on the field here and go along with you.
We have a couple of Winnipeg Blue Bomber players down here, number 52 Walters, and I believe it's number 78 Toogood. I think Walters is just fixing his shoe.
Jim Heighton it is.
It's Heighton, number 58.
Well, injuries have been a big factor for Winnipeg, as Bud Riley said. Everybody in the West, certainly, and many in the East, picked the Blue Bombers to win. He said, really, we were not that solid to begin the season, and the injuries didn't make things any better.
Well, he was talking about his offensive line. This time it's part of his defensive line. Heighton making the hit on Neil Lumsden here. Seems to go down in the middle of the pile and gets caught underneath everybody, and they're still working on him. Maybe he just had the wind knocked out of him when someone came down on his back after he made the initial hit on Neil Lumsden.
Well, you know, Russ, we've talked an awful lot about the turnovers, about 10 of them today. We might hit the dozen for the turnovers, open a big shop. But you've played in weather like this. The thing that's killing these players, I think, is the wind, because it's so strong and it's so bitterly cold. Thank goodness it isn't raining.
Right through Leon McQuay's hands, and he has to cover up.
Well, Tom, you just mentioned it, and we see another one where we almost had a turnover, but it does get cold down there. The hands get cold. It's very difficult to keep them warm. And when I used to play a lot of years ago, we used to wear a muff on the front of our sweaters and just stand in the huddle with our hands in that muff, just trying to keep the hands warm. And I'm surprised that maybe some of these players aren't using that this afternoon, although maybe they expect it to be a little warmer. Bud Riley keeping warm on the sideline, the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Wait till it gets really cold in about a month or so.
Then they'll never drop the ball.
3rd down and 12. Andrusician with the wind. Gets a bounce back to the Bomber 37, Roselowicz.
Got some running room. Yes, sir.
Down to the 45, and the Bombers are in good shape again. Leo Lumsden, number 32, there for the tackle.
Now, there's a time when the punt by Zenon traveled a great distance. It was not very high. It was a 57-yard punt. It gave the punt returner a lot of time to bring it back with the coverage not getting down there, and he brought it back 35 yards for only a net difference of 22 yards.
I like Tom's line a minute ago, lest it got drowned out by the crowd. Enough turnovers to open a big shot. Brock to Patterson. And he appears to have a first down in the area of the 33.
Brock a little slow getting up as he rolled out to the right and took the penalty. Paid the price for rolling out, going all to the right, all the motion. Brock will go out, and the man he originally he will throw to is actually blocking for him at this time. It looks like he's maybe going to run. Patterson released off the linebacker 35 and just dumped it to number 34, Patterson, for the first down.
260! 260!
Here's Richard Crump. Broke one tackle, then gets dragged forward on his momentum. The ball might have come loose in there as they plow in for it. The Argonauts claim they've picked it up, but the play apparently was whistled dead around the 27-yard line. So the Bombers will get a gain of about 5.
On that previous play, number 34, Patterson showed very good how he could get out there, block for him initially, as we see Corrigal lying on the ground. Block for him initially, then release and take the short pass for the first down when Brock attempted to run with the ball.
Well, you mentioned the healthy state of the front four of Toronto. Jim Corrigal down. Of course, this is not an unusual occurrence to see Corrigal down. He's had more injuries throughout his career, and he's had to bounce back several times.
Well, Brock handing off to number 33, Crump, and trying to hang on to him here. He's hanging on to the offensive tackle, trying to get out there for the first down. But we'll be back in just a moment.
Pontiac has always passed down something special to every generation of its cars.
Pontiac Phoenix.
A compact car in the spirited Pontiac tradition, giving you the good looks you can be proud of.
Pontiac Phoenix.
Pontiac's lowest price 6-passenger car, asserting its heritage in every line. Pontiac Phoenix.
Pontiac Phoenix. Where you want to go.
When Teleprompter, cable television company, demonstrates their reception, they obviously want their picture to look as good as it possibly can. Out of all the television sets in the country, guess which one they use? Exclusively. That's right. It's a Sony.
Back at Exhibition Stadium, that's Jim Corrigal behind the medical people over at the Toronto bench. He had the wind knocked out of him. He might have some bruised ribs. Other than that, nothing serious. Nothing wrong with the legs. They were both wiggling.
Here's Jay Washington getting a first down for the Blue Bombers, stepping into touch around the 15-yard line.
Don, just a great block by Butch Norman, number 66, on Mike Logan, number 7, trying to come up and make that tackle. The offensive tackle, watch number 66, will pick him up, and here it comes on Mike Logan, number 7, an open field block by an offensive tackle, allowing Washington to get around that corner and forcing Eric Harris, number 16, to push him out of bounds on the Argonauts' 16-yard line. But when you get a tackle around like that, clean, as Butch Norman, number 66, was able to do on that last play and gets a super block on the safety coming up to make the tackle, you've got to gain yards.
First down, Winnipeg. Out of the I formation, the second back is Richard Crump. And Crump reaches into the 11. He's got about 5. Lorne Richardson made the tackle, number 27. The Blue Bombers with 7 points in each of the first 2 quarters, and then 8 in the third quarter. Washington was down for a moment there. Here's Cordell coming back in, number 79. So as Tom said, he was just winded before. Winnipeg leads at 22-3. Pressing for additional points right here. Mark McDonald going wide right. Holmes on the left side. Brock has it knocked out of his arm. It's picked up by the Argonauts at the 25-yard line. Wayne Smith made the recovery as Brock was trying to throw. Burley came in, I believe, Russ, and knocked the ball loose.
Well, Burley knocked it free earlier, and again it's Burley who came in this time, and as Brock is trying to move up into the pocket to throw the ball, Burley makes a good pass over John Bach, and he will just knock the ball out of his hand as he's trying to deliver, and there goes the butterfly fluttering away to Wayne Smith.
So the turnovers continue here on this cold afternoon in Toronto. Neil Lumsden starts out. Gets only a couple around the 27. Billy Howard got him. Howard, who had a slight cut earlier in the game, has come back and played exceptionally well defensively at right tackle for the Winnipeg Football Club today.
He's playing his second game with this team, having played against Edmonton last week, and has adjusted very well, playing very strong in there this afternoon.
Chuck Ely.
Look out, here he goes. Look out.
Ely taken down across the 40-yard line after a big first down run by Chuck Wills.
And when Chuck Ely goes here, it's interesting to watch number 32 Lumsden and Bill Ferguson, number 72, come together, because they met head-on earlier when Lumsden was trying to catch a pass, and Lumsden gets even here as he gets a real good block coming in here on number 72. We'll see it right there. Lumsden allowed Ely to get another 7 or 8 yards, blocking Ferguson, number 72.
Here it is to Leon McQuay, who can't get outside. Good reaction by Jim Hyten. Cut him down in full flight as he made his break for the free area outside. And so it's going to be a loss on the play of 1.5 yards. 8 minutes and 45 seconds remain now. It is 22-3 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And a reminder, we'll be joining the World Series game right after this ball game is completed here at Exhibition Stadium.
For Linderman, it is tipped and nearly into the hands of the Bomber defender, Chuck Wills. It goes incomplete, third down, 11.5, and the Argonaut drive is stalled again.
Well, in isolation, Linderman, who's been the #1 receiver for Toronto this afternoon, goes down in behind the linebackers. Ely throwing a little high and behind him, and he takes a pretty good shot from that guy who hits anybody in his area, number 30, Brian Hiroshin.
Sometimes he hits people who aren't even in his area.
Well, he had 1.5 years with the Baltimore Colts to start his professional career and has been a real addition to the Winnipeg defensive secondary.
That's Richard Crump.
Look out.
Crump to the outside, got a block. It's called a clip.
A good block.
On Toogood. They ruled out a clip thrown by Toogood. We'll hopefully get a chance to look at it again. It's going to negate the run back of Richard Crump. As Crump got all the way down inside the Argonaut 30-yard line, but apparently for naught. We're midway in the fourth quarter. It's 22-3 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Electrohome for 1978 brings to television a new dimension in color. Electrocolor. Whites on television are often muddied with tints of red or blue or green. We call this color pollution. Electrocolor is designed to eliminate color pollution, to give you incredibly pure white and the most beautiful natural color you will ever experience. Color with the Electrohome 3-year warranty. Electrocolor, the new dimension in color. from Electro-Home.
Well, they've taken the ball back inside the 25-yard line, and let's see this clip. Watch. Too good for Winnipeg.
Number 24, Bragagnola. They say he hit him from behind. It's close. He hit him on the number 2, and he had his back turned a little bit, but a tough call on the official. We jumped on it early and said we didn't think it was a clip. It's questionable, and we'll give the official the benefit of the doubt, not having been that close to the play.
Washington slips down right there. Let's check in with Tom McKee.
And right there, folks, is what it's like in Los Angeles, because that's where this 5th game of the 1977 World Series is taking place. They're just introducing the players now. The Yankees are on the field. Don Gullett will be pitching for them. We'll keep you up to date as long as this football game goes on here at Exhibition Stadium. And then as soon as this football game is over, we're going to switch out to Los Angeles. So
would you like some peanuts, Tom? Right?
No, it's okay right now. I'll call you when I want something. Okay?
All right. Here's Washington, makes his cut to the outside. Richardson, he lost his footing in front of Richardson as he was setting himself to make the tackle, but he appears to have a Blue Bomber first down. Washington by far the top ground gainer on either team in this game today. Now gone past the 75-yard mark. Got a total of 76 so far. There it is in 18 carries.
Don, they're getting ready for those national anthems, and Gullett will be pitching against Don Sutton of the Dodgers. Should be a good game.
First down with 6:29 remaining in this game. That is Crump being taken down by Bennett around the 39-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3 for the Blue Bombers, who are taking away valuable time from the Argonauts on this running game they've been executing.
Winnipeg happy to run with the ball, this time coming out on number 77, Wayne Smith. Again, they double team him, keep him to the inside with Patterson, and then newcomer Jeff Hart, number 67, turning him well to the inside, but number 44, Brain, moved up and helped with the tackle.
And Washington gets out to the area of the 44-yard line, although he's going to be short of a first down this time by a couple. The Blue Bombers have done their job. They've maintained control. They've killed off some time, and now Bernie Ruoff on third down at about 3 or 2.5 comes in with a punt return, or the punting team, as the Bombers lead it 22-3. 5:48 left now, and you might call the scene here at Exhibition Stadium Exodus, as the fans head for the exits. At the 40-yard line, it goes to Bennett, waiting for it now, hoping to draw the Bombers in. And he did.
He can't do that, Don. He made a motion, and they're calling that no yards, but he made a motion to pick that ball up, and you're not supposed to be able to do that on returning punts anymore.
Well, here it is.
No yards, number 61, Winnipeg. Sorry.
Quite all right.
I'll say sorry to someone that big as well, but watch number 20, Bennett, as he reaches for this ball, makes like he's going to pick it right there.
Sure.
Now, you're not allowed to do that, because that is intentionally drawing the other team into the restraining area, the same as intentionally drawing them offside by a quarterback.
Well, the official who threw the flag was behind him, and he may not have seen that gesture. So from the 46, Toronto will begin with 5:07 remaining. Longley throwing for Kirk. No good. Threw his hands on the sidelines in front of the Argonaut bench. And it's difficult to explain this game of football as Clint Longley gets ready for a second down call. Here's a team that scores 43 points on Monday, and through almost 4 quarters of their next game can muster only 3. Longley 1 for 5 today. He has given up 2 interceptions. His first 2 were picked off by the Bombers.
Both by number 9, Vince Faison.
Up for it goes Faison with Kirk. It is incomplete. So third down and 10. The Argonauts stall once again. The Bombers with their alert defensive play and the Argonauts with their misfired execution have given Toronto one of its most dismal offensive outings of the entire season.
Don, it's unfair to judge number 12, Clint Longley, in this situation because the defense of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers knows exactly what he has to do, and it makes it very difficult for him to be very successful. It's one of those unfortunate situations, but having been there many times, you must throw the ball. You know the defense knows that, and it's difficult to get too many completions.
Half expecting a no-yards flag there, but it was not forthcoming. With the bounce, the roll, it traveled 55 yards. Rosalowicz grounds it at the 13-yard line with 4 minutes and 13 seconds to play. Don't forget the World Series, the game not underway yet out in Los Angeles. We'll be getting it to you just as soon as this game becomes official here. And we're just over 4 minutes away from Winnipeg Blue Bombers claiming a very important victory.
They're just introducing the officials, the umpires down there in Los Angeles. I got a trivia question for you in a minute.
That is going to be perhaps just a little bit short of a first down. There's Jay Washington up now to the 85-yard mark on the day. What's your question, Tom?
My question has to do with baseball. Pee Wee Reese was the man who threw out the first ball. What's his real name, first name? Any idea?
Shorty?
No, it's Harold, believe it or not.
Harold.
You heard it here.
Okay.
I know we wouldn't have heard it anywhere else.
Here's Crump. He's taken down again, maybe just short of the first down. Lauren Richardson made the stop for Toronto, and right away Bud Riley sends in his punting team. They'll give the ball back to the Argonauts and try to hold them off in the remaining 3 minutes and 10 seconds. The Argo hopes are almost erased here now, trailing by 19 and just over 3 minutes to play.
And this was a big game for the Toronto Argonauts. If they had won this particular ball game, they could have guaranteed themselves a playoff spot.
Big charge, and it's blocked. Into the end zone. Logan going after it. Touchdown, Toronto. Was picked up by Richard Lewis, number 35. Eric Harris blocked it.
Well, Ruoff taking a little time here to get the ball away. 1, 2. On the third step, he kicks it. And there we have Eric Harris, number 16, blocking this, and he almost caught it before it hit the ground. Mike Logan goes for it, but it's Richard Lewis, number 35, who comes up with it in the end zone. It might be too little, too late, although we can probably expect a short kickoff from the Toronto Argonauts after they attempt this convert. But that could have been one of the funniest touchdowns we've ever seen, with him blocking it and catching it before it hit the ground, and Harris had been able to catch up with it, but Lewis did, and the Argos get their first touchdown of the afternoon.
There it is, the point after through by Zenon Andrusichin. Remember last Sunday at the Olympic Stadium, the near successful comeback engineered by Ronnie Lancaster? Don't go away. It's 22-10, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left.